He looks like he owns credit. Oh my gosh. Man like Arthur from Batman.
Dzień dobry. Assalamu alaikum. Ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, hola, good morning, good morning, good morning. Ciao, konnichiwa. Are you well? I hope you are. It's Friday, the 7th of July, here in Norbury, southwest London. The weather outside is beautiful. It's going to be a stonker of a day here in southwest London. Great day to get out and viewing properties and things. Few bits of news for you today. How are you? I hope you're well. Good few valuations coming in as well. I'm glad to see lots of advice being given about future rentals as well. Some people are stepping into the rental market having struggled to sell their properties. Some people have been reducing their property prices in order to snag those buyers in a tricky market. What is a banker? A banker is someone who lends you the umbrella when the sun is out and asks for it back when it's raining. And I say this because some of the things that are going on with the banks and building societies are really unfair. I'll give you an example. First of all, the rocket and the feather thing. The FCA has told banks to accelerate progress on improving rates for savers. What that means is what they've been doing is they've been whacking up rates for borrowers, and I'll come on to what the Halifax have done in a moment, and at the same time, not increasing the savings rate. So they're winning both ends. Do you see? It's just totally selfish. And this is what an article in the Financial Times says. The Financial Conduct Authority, the FCA, on Thursday told Britain's largest banks to do more to improve returns for savers following months of criticism over the gulf between the cost of mortgages and the rates offered on easy access savings accounts. In a statement after meeting executives from Barclays, Lloyds, HSBC and NatWest, the regulator said those in the room recognised they needed to do more to help consumers access the best rates. They're set to publish a review into savings rates at the end of July, but Sheldon Mills, head of the competition, said the regulator would not be intervening directly in the market. What this means is he slapped them on the wrist, but it's had no impact whatsoever and won't have any impact, which is really frustrating for those people that are perhaps retired and have got savings. And the one thing they could at least rely on is the savings jumping up and the banks are not passing those on. And then conversely, the Halifax has raised its remortgage rates. You may be aware that we've had a big jump in interest rates by 0.5%. So what did the Halifax do? Raise their rates by 0.54% above the base rate. 0.54%, that's absolutely disgraceful. And the reason they've done it is no doubt they don't want to take any more risk right now. And this is an article which says that the Halifax has announced an increase in remortgage rates by as much as 0.454%. It comes amidst ongoing turmoil in the market, with several major lenders, including TSB, Lloyds and Santander, also raising rates. Amit Patel, advisor at Trinity Finance, said this is absolute carnage. The Halifax has decided to perhaps effectively price itself out of the market to protect its loan book and current obligations to existing savers and borrowers. Obligation to savers. Come on, we already know what they're doing on that. And then it says this is the new normal with no apparent end in sight unless the Bank of England starts lowering the base rate, which looks unlikely. So that's the bad news for the week. The good news is it's Friday. We love Fridays. Why do we love Fridays? What's your version of what's good about Friday? For me, it's traditionally the end of the working week for many people. So it's the anticipation of the weekend, the fact that work is nearly done for the week. Used to be obviously traditionally payday for many people on a Friday, and that was an exciting time as well, of course. But the anticipation of the weekend, and on top of that, for us as estate agents, what we find is most people that are viewing homes to buy or to rent, the times that they're available tend to be Saturdays. So for us, Friday is a big push day where we try and get everybody out that's possibly looking to buy or rent a house, and make sure that if they're viewing stuff over the weekend, then they're viewing it through us rather than our competitors. So making sure we have discussions with those people, find out how it's going, what they've seen, how it compares, what the best one they've seen is, why they're moving, all these questions to try and eke out what it is that they're moving for to make sure we can give the best possible advice. It's not just about mudslinging. It really, in this market where the market is slower, you have the time and you should be having those discussions with people that really drill down to what it is that they need from the house move. Because if you can get on top of that, then it's much easier to sell to them. And the way you can sell things to people is obviously via what we call the which means that rule, which means that if you know what people want, then you can bring that into the mix when you're selling. For instance, if they've got an inclination for entertaining, they might need a big kitchen diner. So you could say, well, you should see the house on Southbrook Road because it's got a fantastic kitchen diner, which means you can get all your friends around there and have the most fantastic parties. You see, you're putting their lifestyle into that property. And then it's like, well, when can I see that one, Ken? Let's get around there. So that's what we should be doing in this market. Not enough agents are actually doing that. These days, it's all about the digital click and people sending emails. And here at James Alexander, we believe that there's still space for human touch. And this is the sort of thing that can make a huge difference in a difficult market. So if you're thinking of selling and you need proper advice from real human beings that will talk to people rather than just rely on emails coming in and phones ringing inwards, then give us a call. Apart from that, glass skyscrapers, it looks like they're facing extinction. And this is about sustainability and the fact that obviously when you've got a glass building in the heat, it's not very energy efficient, and actually in the cold, it's not that energy efficient either. So they're deciding to prioritize sustainability above glass. So it'll be interesting to see what that does to skylines, won't it? Because we're so used to, aren't we, if you look at the city and all built up places like Croydon, to see that sea of glass everywhere. Interesting to see what happens. Half of renters are struggling to make housing payments, apparently. That's not a surprise, is it, with everything going on? And of course, it's true of landlords as well. Landlords are having to increase their rent to protect themselves because interest rates have gone up so much, and they're having a struggle, and that's obviously knocking on to tenants. And this is one thing that the government don't seem to be, in my view, aware of, is the fact that the more that you push and blame landlords, the more vilification there is there, the more likely landlords are to exit the sector, therefore exacerbating what is already a massive crisis. So that's where we are today. I hope your weekend goes great. Rafa. Rafael. He's in. Yeah, thank you, Rafa. We haven't seen Rafael for ages. He used to be a client of ours, and he moved areas, and it's nice to see him on the chat there. So welcome, Rafael. Always nice to hear from you. And by the way, he is a fantastic photographer, producer, filmmaker, and you really need to talk to him if you've got any needs in that direction. So apart from that, have a fantastic weekend. It's always great to hear from you. And if you need any advice, then I'm your man. I've got your back. Just give me a call, 0208 679 8601, or email me, ken@jamesalexander.com. Enjoy the sunshine, look after yourselves, and if you can, your family and friends. Ciao.